Today we're going to demonstrate the functionality of the ePen portal. You're going to log in with your assigned password or username password. Click the login button, which is normally stored in the browser cache, and we see the interface. It's very simple. We have an inbox and an outbox, and we'll be covering the differences between the two. First we click the inbox. We have to select the pharmacy, and because we want to see some records, we actually want to go back a day. Now we're going to leave the rest as the default, so we just click the submit button. As we can see, we have 13 pages, each with 10, so that's 130 records, and you can navigate using the arrows page by page, or you can jump forwards and backwards to the extremes as normal. So we're just going to return back. I'm going to say, okay, let's filter this down a bit. We can see we have multiple homes here, so let's go and just pick one. Wentworth, click the submit button again, and we have now just a maximum of 2 pages with 20 records or so. We might be interested in actually just looking at what's happening in a particular ward, so we click that, we hit that, and we end up with just 3 records. So that's how you would filter a long reporting list using the drop-downs under facilities and wards. So the structure of what we have now is we have the actual icon to view the image. We have the session, which is in the portal, and that has more details. So let's click on one of these, and what we can see is we can actually get information about what time it was received and whether or not the page has any history. So if we click on the page history, this one only has the one, and it occurred on the yesterday at around 3:59. So we're going to return back to the home, and let's go back and do a search based on a session number. Now I just happen to know one of the session numbers. I'm going to type that in, and that's 732371. We'll click submit, and we find one record, and we want to look at the details of this one. So there's the session ID that was typed in. It came from the Ash Acres West on level 5 of that particular home. If we click the page history now, we can see that there are multiple events, all on different times, and this can go back. There's one on January 1st, so let's have a look at what happened on 31st of January. We click on the image, and we can view it here. Okay, and then if we come back to here, and we say, well, what happened on the 16th, yesterday, what we should see is a progression in the ink. Excuse me. And I'm just going to minimize this for a moment, and we can look at the two side by side. So what we're seeing is that this was the original order. It was then modified. The doctor signed it. That was probably the second one, or maybe the third one, and then again on filled out, and there's the last one recorded, the signature. Okay, so this is an excellent way of looking at the history of a particular sheet of paper, and when necessary. Okay, I'm going to go back to the inbox. I'm going to do a full search to cover off one last item. And the status column has 2 values. It has sent or held. The difference between sent and held is that a held status means this order never went to the pharmacy. And why would that be? Well, let's have a look at the image, and you'll appreciate why we didn't send it. It's because there's nothing for the pharmacy to do. There's no ink appearing below this line. So this region is referred to as the target area, and the target area is defined as any ink appearing in this area will trigger a fax automatically. So when the nurses fill in just the name of the resident, their room number, and other details about them, this is stored on the server but doesn't need to go to the pharmacy until the doctor or nurse writes below the line on a future visit. Okay, so that's what we mean by status of held. All the rest that say status of sent means it was actually sent to the pharmacy. And all of those records exist in the outbox. So we're going to click the outbox. It looks very similar to the inbox. We pull down the pharmacy, we go back a day, and we click submit. And what we see now are the orders with the check marks. And the check marks, a green check mark means it's been delivered by fax to the pharmacy, and the time delivery is presented in this column here. This is when it was received by the servers, processed, and then delivered. Now, there's usually not much of a difference. As you can see here, this was at 14:10, and this is at 14:12. So within 2 minutes, this order had been processed and delivered to the pharmacy. This number here exists for troubleshooting orders where there might be a problem that we have to look at between the fax service provider and our portal. Okay, same sort of filtering is available here. We could say to show us the ones from that facility, click the submit button, and it's structured differently. If you're going to have all of them visible and you want to sort by facility, you could do that, or you could sort by the reference number, which is this number here. The default is facility, so they should come back all the Wentworth Lodge first, and as we pan through, we'll end up getting to the casa and then the floors, etc. Okay. So, the only other part of this that might be of interest is the changing the password, and that is done by clicking the preferences. And you have to type in your current password. Click submit, and then you can fill out your new password. Okay, I'm not going to do that. That's it. That's all I wanted to cover in this tutorial. So we log out, and we have successfully demonstrated the use of the ePen portal.